Nice. What was the biggest flop for you? Or one of
So
the
we already talked about the Army of the Dead. So haven't seen Halloween Kills, I assume, right?
No, but you
Have
can
you seen
spoil me.
Godzilla? Have you seen Godzilla versus Kong?
No.
Okay, so well then it doesn't matter which one I pick. Those two are the other worst movies that I've seen in 21. Halloween Kills and Godzilla versus Kong. Halloween Kills is very much comparable to Army of the Dead. Like every choice seems wrong. The pacing is terrible. The acting is terrible. The dialogue is atrocious. And even worse, it stops making sense after a while. I don't know, Jeff, what your experience was, but I thought the first one was actually pretty good. The new Halloween that came out like 2 years ago, was it? I think it was kind of watchable, and I had I like I'm like you, Jeff. I love horror movies. Horror is probably my favorite genre of all, and so I was looking forward to this, and I wasn't expecting a masterpiece, but I wasn't expecting. I mean, Kills and the other one, Godzilla versus Kong.
Okay. Yeah.
Is just those films always disappoint me, and I don't know why I'm so stupid that I keep expecting a good movie. Maybe it's because of the Peter Jackson film, which I loved. And I also liked the first of the new Godzilla movies. It was just terrible to kill Cranston's character off because he was the only interesting character in the whole film. But whenever I watch the trailer for a new Godzilla Kong movie, the trailers are excellent, and you watch those. And you think this is going to be epic. It's going to be amazing special effects. There's going to be a sense of mystery, a sense of wonder, like going back to your childhood when you were in love with dinosaurs and monsters and all that. And then you watch those films and they're so badly written. The characters are shallow and not even the monster design is very good. So that was another huge disappointment. So Halloween Kills and Godzilla vs. Kong are my two worst choices for them. In addition to the Zack Snyder zombie thing.
They don't sound bad in a funny way, so I don't think I'm gonna catch up with those.
No, yeah, absolutely don't. They're just bad. Maybe Halloween Kills could be, once you know it's a terrible film.
Mm-hmm.
I think you could hate watch that and have a good time. Once you realize just how bad, because on hindsight, I wasn't in the mood for a so bad it's good movie because I didn't have that expectation for it. But I think in hindsight, had I known how bad it was going to be, I might have had a good time. Because then you can, I mean, you'll be hard pressed to find another movie apart from Snyder's where the dialogue is so bad and just nothing. There's so much build up to many scenes, and then there's just no payoff ever. It seems like always to be the intention of the movie to not deliver any payoff in a scene.
Well, that's one of the worst
terrible.
Offenses in bad storytelling.
Absolutely. Yeah. I have no idea what went wrong there. But, Jeff, what's your 2 cents on that? You have seen it, right?
Oh yeah, I've seen them both. I couldn't gravitate toward this movie. It was like they was in a rush. The studios was in a rush to put out, a big versus film so that they could get the audience, pumped and amped to see this. And I'm glad that it came on HBO Max, because if I would have paid money to see this shit,
yeah,
I would have been pissed off as if I wasted my money on seeing the Michael Bay Transformers. Well, the first two, because after the second one, I stopped watching those. But you had these kids, whatever, or young adults sneaking around, in some infiltrating some base. I don't know, it's like a military grade science base, like they're the Scooby-Doo gang. Then once see fucking Kong, he has a magic axe, and all of a sudden he's goddamn He-Man.
It's, well, I mean, this could be, if James Wan had done the movie, then that would be fun, because you can take the most ridiculous premise and if you really care about it, but it seems cheap. It's never, they never really what's the word, commit to the ridiculousness of the film. because you can do that, as Aquaman has shown in glorious ways. You can still care about a character and commit to certain ridiculous aspects of it. But Godzilla vs. Kong is just a movie by committee. It's the worst kind of big budget filmmaking, where just every decision is made by like 50 people, and what comes out is the smallest common denominator. It's terrible.
Yes.
And what about Halloween Kills?
Halloween Kills. The only interesting part was, well, literally the title Kills. It lived up to that scene where Michael Myers fucks up nearly the whole townsfolk.
And it makes no sense. It makes no sense. It has absolutely. It's just it comes out of nowhere. Unlike the scene in *Malignant*, where you can see it's a cleverly constructed movie, even if it's ridiculous. In Halloween Kills, it's just like, and now we do that, and you watch it and you think, okay, all right, so it's terrible.
I'm convinced I'm gonna catch up with Halloween Kills, not with Godzilla vs. Kong. But
you'll be bored with Godzilla vs. Kong.
I think I might enjoy watching Halloween Kills, following what the two of you are saying about it.
Please do, and don't blame us if you end up hating it.
Yeah, right.
Anyway. But if you do find some kind of fun watching it, then please share it with us. So you
try
have to
getting the unrated cut.
Oh, for sure. If anything, then
for best measure. Yeah, but the only redeeming part about Halloween Kills was the great John Carpenter's soundtrack.
Yeah, true.
Cody Carpenter. Yeah. And, as much as Carpenter is one of my favorite directors, if not the favorite director, I couldn't co-sign with him, I guess, promoting that movie. But you know what? John, at the end of the day, he gets a check. So
yeah, he's got to make a living. I stopped watching Halloween movies at H2O. That was such a disappointment because I was looking forward to that one too, and I thought that was bad too. So for me, it's the first three I like.
Yeah, the first three.
I like the third one because it goes so crazily off the rails. It has nothing
I love
to
the
do
third
with the
one.
first two. But the first and the second one are just are excellent, I think.
Yeah, I definitely love the third one.
It's great. It's a great horror movie.
It's a cult classic. It was underrated.
Absolutely. Yeah.
People pissed on it because, there's no Michael Myers. This was like a more nuanced movie than the following sequels, where you have Busta Rhymes karate kicking the shit out of Michael Myers.
Yeah. They do that. All right.
So
now you're intrigued, huh? Now you're intrigued, Jan.
Be careful what you ask for.
I liked the first couple because I was a young teenager when I saw those, and they scared me, and I loved the gore and the effects mostly because I was always a Fangoria kind of guy. I was always interested in special effects and particularly gore special effects. But the suspense after the second one is gone, right? So enough of my worst.
No, but I have a confession. I did enjoy Jason Takes Manhattan because
I've never seen that one.
It was full of 80s cheese. I mean, the 80s was my favorite decade of all.
When did that one come out?
Oh, I believe around 1989.
Yeah.
Jason Takes Manhattan. Is this the title?
Yeah, Halloween. I mean, not Halloween. Friday 13th. Jason Takes Manhattan. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen that one.
Oh, it's a classic.
All right, so I'm going to watch that one.
It's so bad,
I love the 80s. I love the 80s horror movies. That's totally my jam.
And I highly recommend that documentary, In Search of Darkness, Part 1 and Part 2.
I watched the first part. They're very long documentaries, but they're totally
4 hours. I mean, definitely gives you more than you can handle. They go all out with
that's great. But I have
love
to
letters to the 80s. So shout out to Creative VC and Mr. Wiener. Great job by third one, In Search of Darkness 3, which will be coming out. And I plan to support In Search of Tomorrow, where they cover science fiction films of the 80s.
Oh, great.
Right. Yeah.
Going to be looking forward to that too. Yeah.
I highly recommend the In Search of series. No, I'm not this is not a paid endorsement. But, as an 80s pop culture, which the 80s gave birth to pop culture as we know it, arguably.
Yeah, and you and I are old enough to really have enjoyed that time. Unlike young Padawan,
Jan.
Millennials can't really know.
Yeah, I'm a kid of the 90s. Those weren't a good decade.
The 90s were, I think, they probably were a good decade for skaters and for...
for fans of MTV programs.
I was a skater and I loved the 90s, but I to this day, I think in terms of horror, the 80s were just, and also sci-fi,
dominated.
Yes.
Those
were
for sure.
Verhoeven movies and the films like... Yeah.
I was just talking about the pop music of the 90s, which was just, the No Doubt stuff and the Europop dance stuff.
Yeah, but the 90s was also the decade of where Metallica had their big breakthrough after the 80s. And it was also the decade...
and where black metal was born, Jeff, and lots of chaos.
The 90s had lots of great
and also,
I think every decade.
You're right, I'm convinced.
Music.
You're right.
Yeah, and, it's like post-punk bands that emerged, like Corrosion of Conformity.
Oh, with, absolutely.
The 1991 album Blind, which is, to me, one of the best, if not the best, metal albums of all time. Boost their their status.
Oh, and the first Rage Against the Machine.
Absolutely.
Right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Rage Against the Machine. As for grunge, I never cared for that genre. However, Alice in Chains.
Alice in Chains is a great. Is a great band. Yeah, absolutely, yeah. I agree. But grunge is kind of it's like jazz almost, because within that genre there's such diverse bands. And Alice in Chains is amazing, but also Soundgarden had absolutely amazing songs. So the 90s was a great decade.
I had a friend, Kane the Sutter, who used to write for our old site, talkbacker.com, who was a fan of Soundgarden. I couldn't get into them. The only song I really liked was Spoon Man. But
Spoon Man is fantastic. There's a great drum there. The drum track is absolutely great. Oh, yeah.
But there was this other song that was cleverly used at the end of Marvel's Avengers. I forgot the title. We Rise in the Sun or something like that.
Black Hole Sun?
No, not Black Hole Sun. No, definitely not. But,
I don't remember, but there was a Soundgarden song in Avengers?
Yeah, in the first Avengers. And I'm not saying this because I'm biased, because I did love the Avengers. Happy 10th anniversary. Let me see. Avengers end song credits, blah, 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 blah.
Soundgarden Avengers.
Yeah, It Lived to Rise by Soundgarden. Yeah, that one was good. That was a better song. I remember watching the videos of Black Hole Sun, and I was completely bored. But then when Danzig came out with Dirty Black Summer, I'm like, yeah, what's up?
And he turned into a great filmmaker, didn't he?
Glenn
Danzig.
Oh, I heard he has stuff that's on the same level as Tommy Wiseau's The Room, basically.
Yeah, I think that's...
I haven't seen it, but yeah.
I never bothered to watch Verotic.
Yeah, that was its name. Yeah, how's that one?
Yeah, I didn't bother to watch it.
It's unwatchable. I've never tried, but what I heard is, but